Ooh, I think we won.
This call came out as he needs a Band-Aid, and then it escalated rapidly.
Chaos at a Florida amusement park when a visitor is severely injured on a ride.
We are completely closing off the area, so if you can help us make sure that there are no guests or team members up on startup.
We are getting our first look at body camera footage of first responders swarming the platform of the Stardust Racers ride at Epic Universe in Orlando, trying to save a young man's life.
They keep saying over and over again, but there were no malfunctions. That doesn't mean that there were no safety issues.
We are digging into the emergency response and the investigation that was done in the aftermath of this young man's death, as well as why the man's parents ended up blasting the park at a news conference.
Everyone deserves to enjoy these parks and come home safely. That's all we're asking for.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. A Florida woman went through a horrific nightmare last year. Javalise was riding a roller coaster at Universal Studios' Epic Universe next to her longtime boyfriend, Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, when she looked over and realized something was terribly wrong. As the roller coaster plummeted downward and whipped around corners, Kevin was apparently repeatedly hitting his head. Blood was flying everywhere. Javalise was screaming. When the Stardust Racer finally came to a stop, the 32-year-old's body was limp and it was contorted. Epic Universe employees, medics, Orange County EMTs, they rushed to help him, pulling him from the ride, putting him on the ground to do CPR, but it was too late. Kevin died on September 17th, 2025. And since then, law enforcement in the park itself have done investigations, and there was a potential lawsuit on behalf of the family that was being considered. Epic Universe changed some of the guidance for their coasters. So we're going to dive into each aspect of this awful incident to show how investigators responded, how this conclusion was reached. And we'll talk about what that conclusion was, but the footage is just something else. Now, I do have to give you some important context as we talk about this for you to understand. So Kevin was born with spinal cord atrophy. He was using a wheelchair. Now, according to his family, he didn't let that disability get in the way. He led an active, independent lifestyle. He'd gone to college. He was a video game designer. Javalise told investigators that she had gotten a job at Epic Universe, took Kevin to the park as a birthday gift using 2 new hire tickets that she'd been given. So it was all well and good. She told police that typically Kevin's whole family would go with him on trips to amusement parks, but this time it was just the 2 of them. Now, Epic Universe had just opened a few months before in May of 2025. Stardust Racer's track stands more than 130 feet tall, reaches a top speed of 62 miles an hour, and you go to September 17th. As Orange County deputies arrived at the scene, multiple paramedics were trying to revive Kevin.
You want Epi now?
On the second round, after the second round, but get some TXA started.
Lucas ready?
Yeah, I got the Lucas ready. Well, I'll be switched. I'm not worried about Lucas right now. You're doing great compression. I got you next rotation. Next full set. That's not the only suspension they need. And get some fluids ready as well. Not secured right, and we will swap over. How's this color going?
He's still doing the face.
Okay.
I got you. The pack is all right.
They're asking an update for Captain Ford. We're gonna close. You can cancel. You can cancel. I'll win this close. Yeah, I'll give it.
What if we need blood though?
I'll win this close. Over there. Hey, minute 45. Minute 45. Hey, we need this aisle secured, bro. Hey, Jamie, secure the aisle.
Hey, Hector, grab the.
Pre-charge.
BBM real quick.
IO. Secure the IO. Hey, post check, written check. Ben. Alright. Post check, written check. Switch.
Happy on board.
Good. Hey, where's that securing device for the IO? Which one of you medics is here first?
Myself and
So, the blood from like a head injury? So it looks like he
hit it on something.
okay. Oh geez. Oh my. You guys get an ID off of him or anything? Was somebody sitting next to him?
Yeah, they did have that woman sitting next to him. I'm unsure what they did with her. They probably removed her maybe to the family room.
Hey, where's the lady that was sitting next to him?
I think they're down.
Okay. What?
We know somebody related to him?
Yeah, there was a woman sitting right next to him, apparently. That thing is covered in blood.
Yeah. Okay. Where is that? Where is she?
I'm trying to figure that one out right now. I've been asking for a family member for like the last 5 minutes.
So as Kevin was wheeled away on a stretcher, headed for the hospital, that's when deputies started their investigation, getting a closer look at the roller coaster seat, which I have to tell you was covered in blood.
Where were you guys when the call came?
I was in my car. They said, oh yeah, head injury at Stardust. I was like, somebody slipped and fell.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was for us it would have been like an industrial accident or
Right.
something. I guess he wasn't strapped in all the way.
trying to figure out if this is like brain matter or vomit. Yeah.
You'll take some photos. We'll investigate here. She's gonna take some photos.
They want to take photos for their thing. Yeah.
Corporate photos, okay.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, just do me a favor and have them do it from this side of the fence.
I'd prefer that they do it on this side, just so we got enough of our investigation side from our
Hold off on that until I talk to you in a second to see how they want to handle it. Was that? I don't know. So for now, I'd rather just hold it. You good with that? So we see, because I think you can see that maybe a little bit in the front here.
Yeah, I don't want anybody messing with it.
Photos will still be the same.
And going back to Javalise, she was sitting a little ways away from the ride's exit, just trying to take in everything that was going on.
I need a statement on what happened. If you could recall, if you were able to.
Went on the ride. His arm was too low. He doesn't have any support on his leg.
Okay.
They pushed it about 3 times, maybe 4.
Who pushed it? The ride workers?
Okay.
Okay.
I saw him on the first drop. Saw him hit his head. I tried to hold him. I couldn't hold him.
Okay.
Another one, he hit his head.
So he
just went up and hit.
So the seat was loose the whole time?
It looked like he was tight.
Okay.
But it wasn't, because like I said, he doesn't have support on his leg. So
I got you.
he can't just hold support, so he can just stay in place.
Okay.
That's all I can remember. I lost my glasses halfway up the ride.
I got you.
All I know, he kept hitting his head. I try to hold him so he doesn't hit his head anymore.
Okay.
But he was.
All right. Just take this couple breaths. All right. Deep breaths. All right. I know it's a hectic situation. Okay.
Now, Javalise was also taken to the hospital to be checked out, but her boyfriend of approximately 10 years was pronounced dead. The day after Kevin's death, Universal Orlando released this statement. Universal is cooperating with the Orange County Sheriff's Office following a tragic event involving a guest at Epic Universe on Wednesday night. The guest became unresponsive after riding Stardust Racers and was transported to the hospital where the guest later died. We are devastated by this event and extend our sincerest sympathies to the guest's loved ones. We are fully committed to cooperating with this ongoing investigation. Now, we got our hands on an incident report that was filed by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, which kind of gives us an idea of how deputies conducted their investigation, okay? So they noted that there were several warning signs at the entrance to the ride and throughout the line that said, and this is important for a legal context, how amusement parks try to shield themselves from liability, because if they have inadequate warning signs, they can be held liable. But in part, it says, these high-speed roller coasters include sudden and dramatic acceleration, climbing, tilting, and inversion and dropping. Failure to follow posted guidelines may result in serious injury or expulsion from the park. Guests using standard wheelchairs, motorized wheelchairs, or electric convenience vehicles must transfer to the ride vehicle seating. And that's exactly what Kevin did. He moved from his wheelchair to the ride. In fact, here's what an employee who helped him told investigators. This is according to the incident report. I asked if he'd be okay with transferring, and he said yes. So one of my team members escorted him while I helped another guest. Another team member and I then were told he had difficulty transferring and would need our transfer device, which is designed to assist guests unable to walk. We brought the device over to him and he transferred into it easily. It was a very normal transfer and he met all ride requirements. He transferred from the device into the vehicle easily. And investigators also got a sworn statement from the employee who helped secure Kevin's lap bar.
Kevin, the individual that was riding in the wheelchair that day, were you helping with the lap bar?
I did. I checked his lap bar, yes.
Okay. And was there any issues with it?
The only thing that came up was with our loading procedures, if the lap bar, so we have our indicator on the side of the seat that lets us know if the seat's in the green or not. If it's not in the green, we can tell there's a little notch that like will lean into the red. He had transferred over with the help from the transfer chair and the leads, and he was sitting in the seat upright, like we normally want them to be, and the lap restraint minimum was not met. It was like this close. So in that in that situation, we would ask them, are you okay? Like, are you comfortable if I push down a little bit just to make sure your lap bar accommodates you? And he said yes. And so then I pushed the lap bar down like we normally would with two hands, checked again, and then the restraint, the indicator met the minimum. Like it met where it was supposed to be in order for him to be able to ride.
So when you applied that one last pressure, when you asked him, okay, can I push down a little? And he said yes. And it met the minimum requirements for it to lock.
Yes.
When you did that, did he show any signs of discomfort?
No, he did not show any signs of discomfort. He didn't make a noise. His face didn't change. And we also have to like kind of verify again, like with him, like to make sure, like with anyone that we would do that with, that they're comfortable. And he very clearly showed signs that he was indeed comfortable, like in that seat. Like there was no discomfort that he was placed under.
Did his girlfriend say anything, like she was worried about anything?
No, she didn't say anything at all.
And she appeared to be fine as well.
Yes.
So the deputies reviewed the surveillance footage of the ride and they made the following observations. And this is key. 8:54:20 p.m. Ride staff started to help the decedent get seated in the ride. 8:56:57 p.m. The ride departs the loading unloading dock. 8:56:57 p.m. The ride is observed at the launch point, beginning of ride, and the victim appears to be engaged and well. 8:58:28 p.m. The ride cart is observed at the final break, but the video is from a distance and you cannot see the decedent. Again, 8:58:28 p.m. The ride arrived back at the loading unloading dock, and it is evident the decedent is unresponsive. So you do wonder what role that footage would have played at a trial, right? But investigators also interviewed Zavala again to try to understand exactly what happened during the ride.
I noticed that when he sat down, it was a little too low. They pushed the bar out.
What do you mean it was a little too low?
Like his belly was right here, and he was like, the bar was like right here.
Okay.
So they pushed it, and they couldn't get it right. They pushed it again, they couldn't get it right, and they pushed it one more time. I think 3 times. I think it was 3 or 4 times. I can't remember. Once they did the green, they did it okay, and we went on the ride. On the first drop, that's when he kind of went up, and he hit his head.
On what?
We went on there was the last car, and we were like on the kind of on the front where there was like the little bar of the cart, where there's like the metal bar. He kind of like lifted. I don't know how he just lifted up. He hit his head, like he would just bend and lift it and just hit his head.
Were you seeing this as you were riding?
Yes, I saw it. When I noticed it, I tried to pick them up as fast as I could and hold him as much as I could, and as as I could, and I remember just ripping his shirt, because on the second drop it did the same thing. I don't remember if it was, I think it was on the third drop he hit his head again. I don't remember if it was there was a 4th drop. I know there were like 3 drops probably, and he hit his head, and then obviously I was just screaming, trying to make him trying to get him to talk to me, to see if he's conscious, to see like he's.
And this was all as the ride was still going on. You were trying to see if he was conscious.
Yes, I lost my glasses. He lost his glasses. we were just trying to, like, I was just trying to get him to answer me. I was just trying to hold him as much as I could. I was just, well, I didn't know I ripped his shirt completely because I was just holding him.
According to News 6 in Orlando, Orange Osceola Chief Medical Examiner Joshua Stephanie said an autopsy revealed that the cause of death was multiple blunt impact injuries, and the manner of death, this is key, was an accident. And the Tallahassee Democrat newspaper reports that the resort itself, as well as the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, determined that the ride systems functioned as intended, that the equipment was intact, and that park employees followed proper procedures. Now, Kevin's family wanted more concrete answers about exactly what happened here on the ride and whether anything had gone wrong that could be prevented in the future. So what did they do? They ended up hiring high-profile attorney Ben Crump, announced that they were getting their own investigators to take a closer look at Stardust Racers. And then you go to October 4th, 2 weeks after Kevin died, and the park reopened the roller coaster. This was much to the disappointment of the family and Ben Crump, who spoke at a news conference.
Let me start this press conference off with reminding you all, after this tragedy, before we had our first press conference, the president of Universal Epic put out some statement to her team members after the tragedy. And in large part, she says safety is and always will be at the forefront of everything we do. Well, Universal, these words ring hollow in light of you reopening the Stardust coaster this weekend without giving Kevin's families any answers whatsoever to why he was killed on your roller coaster. The family was very disappointed that they reopened this ride while we were trying to set up the inspections. Almost like a thief in the night when it said on a Friday afternoon, we're opening the ride tomorrow. You know when the family found out that the ride was going to be reopened? When you all found out the ride was going to be opened. I mean, they feel it was the ultimate disrespect. Kevin trusted Universal. He trusted them assisting him on the ride. He trusted the process. He trusted the training of Universal employees to keep him safe and out of harm's way. Kevin trusted the Universal officials, and that trust ended up being a death sentence.
And Kevin's family members, their pain was on full display as they spoke at that news conference about their loss.
Kevin did nothing wrong. He reviewed the warnings before getting on the roller coaster, like he always did anytime he rode on the roller coaster. He placed his trust in Universal and its employees not to let him board on a ride if it was dangerous for him. He believed he was safe because Universal's actions told him that he was safe. We can't get Kevin back, but we can speak up to make sure no one else loses their life this way.
Kevin's mom, Anna, delivered a statement in Spanish and then had someone step in to read it in English.
Riding roller coasters was something we both loved to do together. We shared that thrill and exhilaration. It made him and I feel alive and free. One of my favorite photos of us is on a roller coaster. Both of us smiling, his hands in the air. But now that photo is too painful to look at because it reminds me of how he died. When we learned Universal had reopened the ride, we were heartbroken. It felt like losing him all over again. How can the ride be open before we even have answers about what went wrong? Before our own experts can even take a look at it? We're not asking them to close it forever. We're asking them for answers and to make it safe, because we do not want another family to go through what we are all going through. I continue to toss and turn at night, trying to figure out why they don't think my son's life mattered. If this were their children, I don't think they would have opened up this ride so quickly. I love my son just as much as they love their children. Whoever is making the decision to put profit over people and their safety, may God have mercy on your soul.
Now, I'm going to give you my legal take in a minute, but I just want to note one more thing. When the ride reopened, it had some new guidelines as part of Universal Orlando Resort's Guide for Safety and Accessibility. There was a list of rides where guests using mobility devices must be able to walk independently, and that now includes Stardust racers. The reason I think that's significant is whenever you see a company make a change after an incident, there is a legal argument that could be made. Is that acknowledging fault? Is that acknowledging liability? Is that acknowledging a mistake? Now, under the specific rules for the ride, there is a note that says this attraction has a device to assist you with your transfer to the ride vehicle. Please see an attractions attendant for further information. Guests using mobility devices must be able to walk independently. But then you go to the Orange County Sheriff's Office incident report that was released in December, and it states the following investigators' conclusion. Based upon the totality of the circumstances, with consideration of known available evidence to include sworn statements, video surveillance, the District 9 Medical Examiner's Office findings, the standard operating procedures provided by Epic Universe, this case was deemed an accidental death and was closed accordingly. Now, I have to give you a piece of law here. Whenever you're talking about lawsuits against amusement parks, many times these parks are shielded from liability based on something called assumption of the risk. You can see that in the warning signs, sometimes in a ticket or a purchase. There will be a waiver that you know what you're getting into, that you're voluntarily participating in these activities, that you're knowingly accepting the risks, and you're doing it anyway. And there's, primary assumption of the risk. So you understand that there's inherent dangers involved. But again, you're waiving liability. You're waiving your right to sue the amusement park if something, God forbid, should happen. But then there's this secondary assumption of risk. So sometimes where amusement parks are not shielded from liability is if there was negligent maintenance of the ride, or there was an operational error, or there were design defects, again, inadequate warning. It would be very difficult for amusement parks to say somebody waived their right to sue and we can just operate this roller coaster however we want negligently. We can have somebody playing on their phone while they operate it. That's not necessarily what somebody is waiving their rights for. They're not assuming that risk. They're going on there assuming that the ride is functioning properly. So that is something interesting to be thinking about. But I want to make something clear. As of that October press conference, the family hadn't filed a lawsuit against Universal Orlando, but according to Ben Crump, they were considering, quote, all legal options. But then you go to December and the law firm announced that there was a settlement reached. A statement reads, the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala and Universal have reached an amicable resolution in this matter. The terms are confidential. The family is grateful for the community support and asks for privacy at this time. It's confidential. We don't know exactly what the terms were. Be thinking an amusement park, if they settle here, it doesn't mean that they're at fault per se. They just maybe wouldn't want to go through the time and the expense and the risk of going to trial. One of the things that happens in litigation is their discovery. Do they want all their internal reports and communications being revealed? Maybe, maybe not. And at the end of the day, I think this is clear. This was a tragedy. And perhaps entering into a settlement, perhaps financially compensating the family to some degree, that can help in a way. Nothing is going to bring him back, but maybe that helps in a way. And it's a way to kind of resolve this situation in a way where the family could potentially move on and be helped. So again, this is a horrific situation for this family. They lost a brother, they lost a son, you have a girlfriend who lost her boyfriend. And he was just doing what he loved when he died. He was riding a roller coaster. Again, just a tragedy, and our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with his family and friends. Difficult to say the least. It's all we have for you right now here.
Family and friends of a Kissimmee man saying goodbye after a terrible accident. They gathered to honor the life of 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, who died last week after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Universal Epic Universe. The medical examiner ruling his death as an accident caused by multiple blunt impact injuries. And as Spectrum News 13's Keith Landry shows us, today was about honoring the life of a man that was loved by many.
Family and friends, many dressed in black, paid their respects to 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala today at a funeral home in Kissimmee. The family requested privacy, but one of their attorneys, Natalie Jackson, told us they're grieving and smiling.
They're also making conscientious effort to celebrate his life because he led such a bright, vibrant life.
At one point, two men brought 3 lightsabers into the funeral home. Jackson showed us one of the lightsabers, honoring Kevin's love for Star Wars.
All the family and loved ones came in with lightsabers, and they really just honored Kevin.
Loved ones are remembering Kevin as a beloved son, brother, boyfriend, a passionate roller coaster enthusiast, and part of an international gaming community.
He was a college graduate. He was a gamer. He was a streamer with friends all over the world. Many of his friends have come today to say goodbye to him.
Zavala's family ran a nonprofit group from 2004 through 2023. Jackson says Kevin mentored teens with disabilities and helped many of them get jobs at Orlando's theme parks. People sharing warm memories of a shining spirit that faded too soon.
Just an amazing person, and today's just it's a beautiful celebration of his life.
Jackson adds some of the witnesses who were there when Kevin rode the roller coaster will be speaking out next week. In Orange County, Keith Landry, Spectrum News.
And one of the family's attorneys, Natalie Jackson, who we just heard from, also says some of the witnesses who were there when Kevin rode the roller coaster will be speaking out next week. Kevin's family wants the ride, though, to remain closed until Universal Orlando provides full answers about Zavala's death, so this does not happen to another family in the future. Family and